Hi, today's date is March 12th, 2019. For today's video source inspection, we have a fully remanufactured S model spin rinser dryer with a SlickDevice controller. So inside the chamber, we have a low profile 8-inch rotor. The model number is an A192-81M. That's not all we have. We have a low profile 6-inch cassette with wafers. And the star of the chamber, a rotor insert. This is so we don't have to change time, you know, depending on how many runs you do in a day, you could be wasting an hour of your time swapping rotors. And this rotor is really heavy to install and uninstall over and over again each day. So buying an insert is a very good option for any customer that wants to run 8-inch and 6-inch in the same chamber. So we have the SlickDevice controller. We have the light tower option here. I'll get more into that when we start our run. I'm not going to share my customer's identity, but so they can identify this video, their PO number is 025370, and they're located in the Bay Area. We're going to run a full recipe to demonstrate the functionality of this 880S model spin rinser dryer. I'm going to discuss our SlickDevice controller, our refurbishment process, spare parts support, as well as equipment we supply outside of the rinser dryer at Sitek. The recipe we're running today will be a 60-second rinse at 500 RPMs, a 10-second purge at 1800 RPMs, followed by a dry 1 of 90 seconds and 1800 RPMs. And then we'll slow it down for a long, slow dry 2, 300 seconds at 500 RPMs. So, let's begin. We're on our rinse. Now the green light's on. We're currently running. Yellow is idle, green is running, red is alarm. And then when we have flashing lights, that means that the cycle is complete and we're ready for maintenance. So we're running nice and smooth. We have about 40 seconds left in our rinse. We have the SlickDevice controller installed. It's pretty cool. On this screen, you can see all of our valves as well as our heaters, what's active and what's not. Since we're in our rinse, we don't have our heaters on. Cool features of the SlickDevice include anti-static monitoring, as well as measuring our voltages for our heater blanket and N2 heater cartridge to show how they're performing. If anything is failing or failed, the SlickDevice will find out for you. Most customers don't realize their anti-static is bad until they realize they have high particle counts. When your anti-static module, also known as a deionizer, is failing, when you pull the cassettes out, particles are more prone to attract the cassette when the anti-static isn't working when you pull it out of the dryer. We're in our dry 1. Other cool features of the SlickDevice include the N2 purge saver. If you want to save money on cost of nitrogen in your fab, if you let us know what your nitrogen cost is and how often your tool is in idle mode, we can share with you a calculated ROI report to show how quickly the SlickDevice would pay for itself. 50 seconds left in dry 1. I've gone over some of the main features of our SlickDevice. Other features that I personally love is a spare parts sales manager, is the troubleshooting capabilities. If any component fails on your rinser dryer, our controller is going to tell you what's wrong and what needs to be replaced. So that makes maintenance super easy. Also, it's great for testing. While in idle mode, you can actuate any valve you want to. You can spray water while it's in idle mode as long as your door is closed, and just individually test components without running a cycle. Very exciting. Okay, so here we are. We're about to move into our slow dry 2. We're running smooth at 1800 RPMs. Now I'm going to discuss our refurbishment process. Every rinser dryer that's sent to Sitek for refurbishment goes through the same extensive process. First, we take a tool and break it down to component level. From there, we individually test and clean all metal parts, as well as inspect all parts for function. We're now at 500 RPMs, nice and smooth. Our bowl heater and N2 heater on. In dry 2, we also have our anti-static module. That is working well as well. Once all parts are prepped, we start building SRD head assemblies from the ground up. And the first step, once we build the head assembly up, is to place it in dry test. In dry test, this is where we do a QC check without facilities installed. Once the tool passes our dry quality control, it goes into our wet test. In wet test, we do quality control checks with facilities installed. Once the tool passes wet test, if poly is needed, like you see today, we place it in our final test, which is the configuration you see before you today. This is exactly how the rinser dryer is going to be installed in our customer's fab. They're going to be very excited to get it on site. The last step is running over 50 various process recipes and filming a video source inspection so our customer can give us the green light to ship, as well as see as their tool is running very well here at Sitek. Okay, so about 3.5 minutes or so left in the cycle. I've discussed our refurbishment process. Even though the customer purchased this tool, a remanufactured tool, we build it up the same way. Everything is specifically prepped, cleaned, electro-polished for metal parts if necessary, as well as tested and then put into the configurations that we discussed that go to dry test, wet test, and then final test. So I'm going to discuss some of the spare parts that we provide. Sitek is an industry leader in spare parts and service. We can support 100% of the parts needed and the repairs needed to upkeep semi-tool spin rinser dryers. Parts that we can provide include start switches, stop switches, door seals, windows, controllers, motors, amps. We also repair the controllers, motors, and amps in addition to providing and rebalancing rotors. Other parts we supply include heater blankets, heater cartridges, pressure switches, solenoid valves, ACR valves, rotor stop positioners, the cam assembly, motor isolators, the list goes on. Anti-static modules. We can supply any part on the semi-tool spin rinser dryer. Okay, about 2 minutes, 20 seconds left in this recipe. So far, smooth. All our components that we want to be working are working. Our customers can be very happy. Now I've discussed our spare parts and service, as well as our refurbishment process and some features of the SlickDevice controller. I'd like to share some equipment that we could sell for wafer fabs that maybe you didn't know Sitek could provide. In addition to being an industry leader in semi-tool spin rinser dryers, Sitek can provide a variety of other equipment. This includes box washers such as the HTC 8010, 8020, and 8030, mask cleaners including K&S and Ultra T models, metrology tools including profilometers, ellipsometers, resistivity, and more, YES ovens. We can sell barrel ashers and etchers, as well as a variety of microscopes. We are a great place and resource for customers to go to if they want any tool in their wafer fab. We're one of the leaders in the industry in wafer fab equipment sales. Okay, we have 1 minute and 15 seconds to go. We're nice and smooth. As you can see, when we were in a rinse, the window was covered in water droplets. Now we just have a few. So you could tell that our dryers are really doing the work. We're getting closer to the end of the process. We're honed in at 500 RPMs, which means we're perfectly calibrated. The SlickDevice is a smart controller and is able to run the rinser dryer at the exact speed that you want it to go in your recipe. Once the clock hits 0 on our controller, that does not mean it's safe to open the door yet. We need the rotor stop positioner to fire the rotor into the 12 o'clock upright position. This way you're not pulling out an upside down cassette and risking breaking wafers. We want it to upright in the 12 o'clock position, but you still don't want to try to force your door open. We need the door seal to release all air, become completely deflated. Then it's safe to open the door. If I try to force the door open now, I would cause damage to the rinser dryer. 0 seconds. Okay, right about 75 RPMs, the RSP fires, which is a short term for the rotor stop positioner. And the door seal is released. And we're ready to open the door. That's what the blue light is a symbol for. Okay, let's pull it out. We have completely dry wafers. This was a successful run, first and foremost. We have warm nitrogen purging into the bowl. We have residual droplets of water in the bowl. This is something we want. You don't want to risk having a bone dry bowl at the end of your recipe, as you're more prone to attract particles afterwards because static buildup. Okay, this was a fully functional recipe. I want to show you just one thing before we finish the video. I'm going to go to our menu, hit the default password. I would like to show you manual mode. Yes, I agree. I just want to show the graph of the heaters and anti-static. So here's the graph. I'm going to select anti-static. And the way we measure anti-static is a pulse. You see how it pulses up and down. The anti-static module is behaving very great. You could also move on to your heaters. The N2 heater, it's going to be more of a constant. We're not measuring a pulse here. And the blanket heater, you can measure the blanket, which is the red one, and the N2 heater at the same time, which is very cool. And from here, you know, you can turn on your valves. If I inflate the door seal, I could rinse. I just rinsed. I could turn on a N2 heater. We're drying now, we're moving water. So pretty cool stuff. Anyways, we thank you for watching today's video. There's plenty of more good material at our YouTube channel. Just search Sitek Process Solutions. If you need any spare parts, service, or equipment, please call us at 916-797-9000. And if you want to see our catalog to see everything we can provide, our website is www.sitekprocess.com. You can send us an RFQ there, or email us at sales@sitekprocess.com. Thanks for watching.